under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you please stand for 1 minute? I just would like to mention a couple of people that have passed this month that are town of Rosendale residents. Harold Motzer, Michelle Sullivan, and Philip Bonfiglio, who was actually a principal in this building at one time. And we could just have a moment of silence for them. Thank you. And you'll be happy to see that we have a microphone. Yeah. We have one. This was the pool microphone, so we were able to find a temporary use for it here. And I promise I won't yell everybody out of the pool. But we'll pass it around when someone has to talk and it's not in front of it. Okay. Do you have, anybody have a petition or public comment or community event they would like to make public? It's not on the agenda. Okay, as far as the minutes, Mandy, I did a couple of typos. I'm sorry I didn't get to look at these before you left today. I called you at like 4 o'clock. Oh, she left. So, on page 3 of the November 5th, I believe you wrote, sometimes it's to increase. It looks like house, but I think it was supposed to be hours. And on the November, it's not house, right?
I think those ones are, I just asked Michelle, which one's hers, one's mine.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure which.
Then the November 12th was, on pages 1, 2, on page 4, on the second paragraph, Supervisor Walsh asked Councilwoman Metzger to get the documents that she has to the rest of the town board. Also to change so that it reads in the opinion of the town board rather than stating things as facts, and that was in several places. It wasn't just one thing, it was several. Okay. That's all I had. Anybody else? I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from November.
I'll second.
As amended.
As amended, thank you.
Roll call, Councilman Hassett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger?
Yes.
I just have to fix something. Councilman Kozlowski?
Yes.
Councilman Ryan?
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh?
Yes. Councilman Kozlowski, would you please give your report?
Sure. Of course, the Chamber of Commerce asked me to remind everybody Frorzendale is this Saturday. The town will again be giving out chocolate
At
3 doors down,
430 Main Street?
430 Main Street, for hot cocoa from the town of Rosendale. As for the assessor's report, no money taken in November. As for the Environmental Commission, actually I've got their year-end wrap-up. In 2014, they produced the stormwater brochures for the town, hosted a Riverkeeper workshop on the Rondout Creek water quality, attended or tabled at the street festival, providing information on stormwater, emerald ash borer, and other town topics. They began developing a green procurement policy, which I believe Councilwoman Metzger continues to work on. I've been working on the emerald ash borer issue, which is also one of the top priorities for the upcoming year, and are in the final stages of entering data for the town emissions inventory, which will identify areas to improve efficiency and economy.
And just on that note about the emerald ash borer, I've been talking to our highway superintendent, and as I had asked them, this is a top priority. I think it's important that you go back to the next meeting and stress the importance of making this a top priority. The infestation is spreading quite rapidly, and I've asked Bob if he would address the environmental commission, as he's the person that's been getting most of the information on how to handle this.
Okay. It's actually the first of their project ideas listed for 2015.
Great.
But I'll be sure. And lastly, for the Justice Court, we have not received financial reports for October or November at this time.
Okay. Just like to make a record of that, Michelle, that we're waiting for reports from them. We have not gotten them.
Good evening. For the Youth Commission, the meeting was canceled this month because the director was ill, but I believe we took in $106.18 on the clothing locker. Once again, I'd like to reiterate to please give your clothes, garments, and that to the locker, because it goes back to the town and the youth center, unlike the other ones that I don't know where it goes. Especially the one for Planet, that they were just dumping their clothing lockers all over without even asking permission. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work there. The Highway Department, the Highway Supervisor Gallagher and the guys are in full swing. Nothing much going on, except they're going to be seeing probably late nights and long days. And I'd like to thank them for everything they've done on this last storm, keeping everything passable and roads safe to the best of their ability. Water and sewer, that's quiet. Nothing much going on there.
We're just doing the paperwork
They
and
work
getting
for
ready
that,
for the
right.
grant.
I did want to pass on to you, I was reading the paper the other day, and a woman in Connecticut had an old meter, and she got a water bill of $40,000. She took it back, and he said, no, that's correct. So I'm waiting to see what the outcome of that's going to be. So that's one way to generate money in the town, though. So for you people that are on town water.
Unfortunately, that money only goes to the district.
And that's it. The assessors.
The assessor is actually going to be out. Do we have those
Right.
times? Here.
The assessor's office hours, December 22nd will be 8 a.m. to 12 noon. December 23rd, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And Wednesday, December 24th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday, December 29th, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The 30th of December, 8 a.m. to 12. And December 31st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And for the monthly report,
I got that in my box, probably. I apologize.
oh, that's why I didn't get it.
Yeah.
You took it from me.
I did.
Let me, since I'm catching this off, reassessment program. Since the beginning of July 1st, have inspected a total of 356 properties. There are a total of 725 properties that need to be inspected by June 30th, 2015. Exemption process. We have started to review and process exemption applications for the 2015 assessment roll. We mailed out exemption renewal applications during October and have started to review and process those applications. Property owners who are receiving the senior citizen, enhanced star, agricultural, or disability exemptions will have to submit renewal applications by March 1st, 2015. So please, anybody that's involved in that, keep that in mind. New construction, I have started to review the status of open building permits. I will be doing a field review and updating inventory and assessments as necessary. I expect to complete this by the end of December, and we'll do another review after March 1st, 2015, prior to the filing of the assessment roll. And that completes the assessor's office.
Anything else?
And I think that closes it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ken Hassett?
The rec minutes are on file for the month of November. I did not attend the November meeting, but the rec minutes are on file.
As far as the financials, the rec department took in $2,509.58 for the month of November. The building department, there were 4 building permits issued, and the building department took in a total of $2,693 for the month of November. And I am sorry, the town clerk. The town clerk reports taking in a total of $5,172.92 for the month of November. And that's it.
Police department does not compete with the town clerk. Brought in $20.50 for the month of December. Transfer station brought in $3,482.16. $285.50 were from bottle returns that will go to the pool. Planning board, Billy, I think that Heidi probably doesn't know that to provide monthly reports on the financial reports, so just let her, since she's new to this process. And let's see, and dog control. Ed, I don't know, do you happen to know what you took in for November?
No, I'm sorry.
That's all
All right,
right.
we'll get you in
We
Jen.
can follow up next week.
The planning board had a busy night. There's a, let's see, Sprint Wireless is seeking a special use permit to replace 6 existing antennae with 3, I guess it's a panel, right? So, yeah, and a microwave dish and associated equipment. The Williams Lake project is coming before the planning board for site plan review for the, this is to do some clearing, 7.4 acres of trees for the first phase, the installation of roadways and water and sewer for the project. And I think that's it, right? Oh, $70 from dog control. Thank you.
Okay. In the general fund, $400,162.07. In highway, $386,336.32. In capital highway, $83,884.76. In capital, $70,123.53. In rec sub, $25,441.23. Capital rec, $791.67. In light, $3,950.25. One other thing I want to just mention. The town offices will be closing at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, December 24th. Will be closed regularly at December 25th for Christmas and Friday, December 26th. On December 31st, we'll close at 2 o'clock and we'll be closed January 1st. And that's a Friday, Thursday also. So we'll be open on Friday after New
Can we not do Christmas Day?
Year's. Christmas Day we're closed. If you want to go to work. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Kristina Carr as chairwoman of the Recreation Commission.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
call, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. I believe this is the first of this month, right? Resolution 12-2014-1. Authorizing agreement with Evolution Technologies, whereas the town of Rosendale finds it necessary from time to time to obtain outside assistance for technical support and its computer needs, and whereas the town of Rosendale finds that by signing an annual report agreement with Evolution Technologies, it can fulfill those needs, and whereas Evolution Technologies has submitted such agreement effective January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof, now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale authorized supervisor to sign said agreement on behalf of the town of Rosendale.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. Resolution 12-2014-2. Authorize agreement with Evolution Technology for the police department. Whereas the town of Rosendale Police Department finds it necessary to obtain outside assistance for technical support and its computer needs. And whereas the town of Rosendale finds that by signing an annual support agreement with Evolution Technologies covering additional duties that are not covered in the existing contract with the town of Rosendale, that it feels it can fulfill those needs. And whereas Evolution Technologies submitted such an agreement effective January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015, which is attached hereto and made a part hereof. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale authorized supervisor to sign said agreement on behalf of the town of Rosendale.
I'll second that.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. Resolution 12-2014-3. Travel allowance for attendees to the New York State Association of Towns Training Conference, whereas the town board of the town of Rosendale is fully committed to the education of its public officials in matters pertaining to duties and responsibilities related to their respective positions. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorizes said officials to attend the 2015 annual training conference of the New York State Association of Towns to be held February 15th through the 18th, 2015. Be it further resolved that the town board authorizes town supervisors to advance a sum of $230 as per the following schedule to each official attending the annual conference for expenses related therefrom. Be it further resolved that each attendee will, within 1 month from said trip, submit to the town clerk a voucher detailing all expenses with receipts and any portion of funds remaining after said itemized expenses, and will also provide the town board in writing a brief summary of the workshops attended.
I'll second that.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski. It
Yes.
says Councilman.
I see that.
Councilman
Yeah,
Ryan.
it's up to Chad.
Last. You get an extra one.
My last meeting, I get to vote twice. I wish people would have voted twice in the election.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. All right, what number is that? 4.
That was 3.
That was 3, this is 4. Okay, 12-2014-4. Appointment of official delegates to the New York State Association of Towns Training Conference. Be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby appoint Gene L. Walsh as official delegate and Robert Ryan as the alternate delegate to the 2015 annual training conference of the New York State Association of Towns to be held February 15th through the 18th.
I'll second that.
She did. Jill, we gotta fix this. I think she
Chris,
did
if you
some.
want to run out.
I think she did some copy and pasting. All right, Jill.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski.
Yes.
Councilman Ryan.
Do we have to abstain on this?
You can if you want to.
I'll abstain.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution 12-2014-5. Be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorize the following budgetary transfers. From tax collector PS to assessor CE, $250. From town clerk equipment to town clerk CE is $390.01. To employee benefit medical insurance to buildings PS, $8,000. From home relief to building CE, $6,000. From playground rec CE to building CE, $10,000. From contingency to building CE, $10,000. From unemployment insurance to data processing PS, $5,000. From schools of instruction to superintendent of highways CE, $200. From playground rec CE to pool PS, $600. From traffic control equipment to OSHA CE, $400. Youth summer camp CE to street lighting, $2,000. Traffic control equipment to OSHA, $100. The highway fund, service other government CE to general repairs CE. Unemployment insurance to general repairs, $4,000. From miscellaneous PS to general repairs CE, $3,297.25. From general repairs PS to general maintenance PS, $6,000. Water fund administration equipment to administration PS, $600. From supply equipment to supply CE, $3,000. I don't know what that is. District.
Distribution.
Transfer distribution to CE to transfer distribution PS, $2,000. Sewer fund administration CE to administrating PS, $2,000.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. Resolution 12-2014-6. Enter into an agreement with Government Payment Services, Inc., whereas the town of Rosendale has a need to accept credit cards for payments to the town of Rosendale for business such as town clerk, water and sewer, tax collector, and transfer station. And whereas the town clerk has worked with the Government Payment Service, Inc. regarding having a credit card machine installed at town hall, and whereas the machine would allow the town to accept payment for services bills by credit card from residents, whether in person, online, or by phone. And whereas the town will not be subjected to any fees from the credit card companies for using this service, and whereas the town understands that services provided by GovPayNet will be at no cost to the town. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale authorize the supervisor to sign said agreement, a copy of which is annexed here to and made a part hereof on behalf of the town of Rosendale.
I'll second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to set the organizational meeting for January 7th, 2015 at 7 o'clock, right here.
A second.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. I'd also like to make a motion, and we may have some discussion on this, to set the year-end audit for January 15, 2015. I'd like to start the audit at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Does anybody have a problem with that?
Thursday.
It's a Thursday. Bob, you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Means we might get out of here by midnight that
Yeah,
night.
it's
so-
just not enough time after hours to do this, plus we have to have all these extra clerks stay, and we pay them a lot of extra time to stay after hours, so. John, is that gonna work for you?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion then, 2 o'clock.
I'll second.
Since John's the new kid on the block, he's gotta bring dinner this year, right?
Yep, yep. 4 course.
He shaked his head, yes.
Take him out, that's not a big deal.
Roll vote, Councilman Hassett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kraslovsky,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. And then just an announcement, on January 1st, we'll have a swearing in here at 11 o'clock a.m. to swear John in. Justice Bill Pape has agreed to do the swearing in. Anybody is invited that would like to come. And then Frorzendale is December 13th. If there's anything else.
Also, what's not on here is, Sunday, December 14th, is the High Falls Fire Department food and toy drive. So Santa Claus will be at the firehouse, cookies and all that, and they'll be collecting food and toys for the food pantries and for kids in Ulster County, so.
And then,
Everybody's welcome.
I forgot, the chef's dinner that Debbie Checkia puts a lot of time in. Is she here? That's from 1 to 3. Where are you, Deb?
Right here, but I'm not standing.
I just want to make sure I get all the details right. 1 to 3 on Christmas
Yeah.
is the serving. You need volunteers for the day before for setup, and you need people to volunteer for a cleanup afterwards.
Bob said he would do most of it.
Okay, well. Any additional help Bob would much appreciate.
And we need food too.
And we need food, we need donations to help make this a success, and a lot of credit goes to the group of people that do that. It's a very nice event, and we're glad to see it's continuing. So the next thing that we have to deal with, which we're very sad to see Ken leave, and his wife Sue is here and would like to say a few words with her children, Danielle, Kyle, and Brenda. Yes, we're gonna.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sue Hassett, Ken's wife, and these are our children, Danielle, Brendan, and Kyle. This is very emotional for us. We're here tonight to honor Ken. Ken served Rosendale for quite a few years before he ran for councilman in 1995. When Ken started his position as councilman, Danielle was 8, and the boys just 1. This is a bittersweet night for us because this has been a part of our lives for 19 years. I was told it would only be 2 meetings a month. Well, we all know that's not true. Ken has always loved this town and has dedicated a lot of time and energy to it, which also included his family. Many a weekend we were there helping. Cleanup Day, Frorzendale, Pickle Fest, Street Fest, any community service that was needed. Ken volunteered us to lend a hand. But not just for the fun stuff. During Hurricane Irene, he was down at the rec center for the emergency shelter, giving to people, helping, and for everybody that needed his time. Anytime there was a crisis, Ken is out the door before I can even ask him where he's going. People come up to us all the time and tell us how respectful, polite, great kids we have. I always joke and say, I don't know where they came from, but I do know. I believe in his position, he instilled in them all the qualities of being people. Knowing people, respecting people, being in a community, helping out. That forms a person, their character, to teach them to be great adults. So thank you. I'm not going to go on and on about all the great things Ken has done for this town because we would be here all night. But I would like to say how very, very proud we are of you.
What a pleasant surprise. I did not expect that, and I certainly do thank you for that. And the kids putting up with me for the last 19 years of kind of putting the town first, but everything comes to an end, and I appreciate everybody being here this evening. You know, I look out there and I see my family and my friends and everybody who's meant anything over these past, in most cases, my entire life. I stepped into this not thinking I would be here for that long. I can remember Doris saying, you want to get into the New York State retirement. I said, what does that mean? She said, well, you got to be in for 10 years and then you get a pension. 10 years? I was elected to a 4-year term. I'm not going to be here that long. So God only knows. But it's been a great ride. I totally enjoyed it. It's been the honor of my life to be able to represent the people of Rosendale. I formed some fantastic and lifelong friendships that I treasure, I truly do. And each and every one of you here tonight knows who I'm talking about and why I'm talking about it. The only thing I can say is thank you so much for the support you've given me for all these years. And I'm not going to go away. If anything needs to be done, I will be here for you, Gene, and for the rest of the board. I feel confident that we have a very capable councilman stepping up. John Hughes is a good man, and this board is a good board. And our town is in good shape. It's on the way up, and I think you should feel confident with the leadership that you have. So with that said, a very heartfelt thank you.
We're not done roasting you yet.
I said we got to do bills.
So the town would like to present to Ken. This is a plaque from the town of Rosendale, presented to Ken Hassett in recognition and sincere appreciation for over 30 years of distinguished service and dedication to the town of Rosendale as town council, deputy supervisor, police commissioner, deputy fire marshal, High Falls water commissioner, youth commissioner, and liaison to many departments and commissions from the town of Rosendale, December 2014. And I would just like to say that it has been my privilege to work with Ken, and any success that I've had in my term, I can definitely give credit to Ken for anything that I've done, because I always have to turn to him. And you can ask Sue how often her phone rings. And I know that when I turn to Ken and I ask him what he thinks about something I'm working on, I'm going to get a very smart, well thought out, very experienced comment on what possible decisions we have to make. And I've relied on him for the past 3 years. I'm happy to say he's going to stay on as deputy supervisor, and I know I'm going to continue to rely on him. We're not done yet. So we did invite Senator Bonasek to come. He couldn't make it, but he did send a very nice certificate of merit. Senator John Bonasek, certificate of merit presented to Kenneth Hassett in grateful appreciation of your years of dedicated service and outstanding contributions to the town of Rosendale.
This is too much.
And we have a few people that would just like to say a few words. I think Bob.
Can we sit?
You don't need a mic, Bob? You can sit.
An elected official, really, who the hell would want this job? The gratifying days and the rewarding days are far and few between. It causes tension, dissension, arguing, fighting amongst your family and friends. It's not a fun place to be. Really, it isn't. Why do we do it? We do it for one of two reasons. Either an ego to fulfill, or the person's heart is in the right place and they're looking after their community, their family, their friends, and the next generation. I know just as well as anyone here that when you go to bed at night and pull the covers up, you're under the watchful eye, and when you wake up in the morning and pull the covers down, you are continued under the watchful eye. And it's not just the elected officials that we can't forget about. It's their families. Kyle, Brendan, Danielle, Sue, his in-laws, that when things come out, gossip, stories, media, they are subject to the same things when they're revealed in a negative way as the elected official. So setting that person, he or she, aside, your heart goes out for them too, because they have to endure it, even though we forget about them. They have to go and follow throughout the day with something that they maybe have heard that wasn't very positive. The Hassett family has done this for 19 years. Most people don't keep their regular job for that long anymore. I've been only here for 3.5 years, 3 years, and it's been such a big change. Losing Bob, now Kenny, but we're not losing Kenny, we're just repositioning. But I want to thank Kenny very much for sharing and being my mentor the way he's been, and letting his family share him to us, because I know what it's caused you in your roller coaster rides on the wins and the losses. And I think I'll just sum it up. I commend anybody, whether they're a conservative, Republican, Democrat, or independent, or whatever. Anyone that throws their hat in the ring, whether they win, lose, or draw, I commend them immensely, because the fact that you know that they're stepping up to the plate to help out our community and get our town and moving in the right direction. Councilman Hassett, I thank you very much for your service. Sue, Danielle, Brendan, Kyle, and the in-laws, I thank you very much. But we're still going to be beating up on them. Thank you.
Is Tara back there somewhere? Tara?
Hello, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Tara Burke. I'm the Recreation Director in Rosendale, and I can't let him go without saying thank you and sharing with you. Ken Hassett has been and will forever be a town of Rosendale hero in my heart. He has played a role in governing the town in some capacity as long as I can remember. I don't know a person I trust more or admire more when it comes to a job-related advice and guidance. His heart is filled with a passion and love for the town and its people that deserves our respect and gratitude. Whether Republican, Democrat, or Independent, I am convinced Ken has the interest of what is best for the town at heart. I have never heard Ken say no when we needed him. He has always been there for us. The list of committees and jobs Ken has belonged to is very long. Currently, his passion has been the Parks and Liaison for Recreation Commission. He is president of the food pantry and played an integral role in sheltering the residents of Rosendale and executing an emergency plan during Hurricane Irene. Without hesitation, on the spot, he made it his mission to drive and personally check on some of our senior citizen residents who had lost phone service during Hurricane Irene. Without hesitation, Ken took on whatever needed to be done, no matter what the job. No job has ever been too big or too small for Ken. I have been witness to him cooking hot dogs for fundraisers, working the shop vac to save the recreation center carpet, to leading the prayer and honor service only days after we were attacked by terrorists in 9/11. Ken has made every meeting and responds to every call 24/7. Ken will be missed dearly, and many will never know how blessed they were to have Ken on their board, committee, and side. He is a humble man who does not brag or point out the long list of accomplishments he has made for his fellow citizens. He will be missed, but the benefits of his accomplishments will be ongoing. Thank you, Ken.
You never told her no? I always heard no. You know, I I just actually got this off the criminal history record. So I wanted to share it with everybody. It's funny, and it doesn't seem, time goes by. We mentioned 19 years, but Danielle, I actually had as a DARE student. And let me tell you about my DARE experience with Danielle. I was doing a lesson on nicotine and how nicotine is not, it's not good and this, that, and the other thing. Well, she after class, she came up to me and she said, my father, he has a cocaine problem. So somehow in my DARE message, nicotine turned into cocaine. And Ken, I hope you've got rid of your addiction. But again, it was...
She's since become a pharmacist.
So I want you all to know that that's probably is my credit, is the drug lessons about how you do it. But anyway, it's funny, Sue, and we didn't talk about this at all, but I wrote down, usually I don't write things down, I just, trying to come up, but I did write this because it's important to me. And I'd sent it, I was hoping I would make it here tonight, so I'll read it. It says, Ken, you and I have worked together in many different capacities over the past 20 years. Your dedication to the town board and your commitment to the town is admirable. It should also be recognized that you have given just as much commitment to your family. You and Sue have raised 3 wonderful children. You should be very proud of what they have learned from you and how they are carrying on the community commitment. I see that. I know what they're involved in daily with the activities. Obviously, one of your sons works with me. So, again, that's not an easy task. And with all the things that go on every day across the nation, all the hate, all the disgust, we need to stand as families and whatnot, and your family is certainly something that we should all be proud of. So, again, enough with the town. Your family is just as important. I look forward to your continued friendship, and I signed it with much respect, Perry. Thank you, Ken.
Was there anyone else that wanted to say anything before we? Come on up, Joan.
No.
I can't make it very long because my voice is going to give out, but I just want to say, Ken, I worked with you for 17 and a half years. Every one of them was a pleasure. And I also took part in your first retirement from the town. And I know that your boys still have the plaque or the memento.
Oh, yeah.
And that, so I hope that it's never had to be used.
No,
And that, which was a Passover from Mary Ann Taplin. And that you have been a wonderful, wonderful representative of the town in your personal life as well as your public life. And we wish you a long and happy life. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Carl's coming up.
For the ones that don't know me, I'm Carl Hornbeck. I used to be the highway superintendent here. Ken, I've known since he was this high. How the hell he got this far, I don't know. He has always been, that, as I've known him, into one thing or another. Fire company, many hours down there. You guys, the whole family's in the fire company. It's not just the town of Rosendale. He's into everything. I'd call him up on the telephone and go, Ken, I got to talk to you about something when I was highway superintendent. I'm in Jersey, I got to go to the store. I'll see you in about 3 hours. An hour, he's back here in my office. I mean, anytime I needed him, like everybody else has said, he's always there, helped you out with personal problems. personnel problems at work, you name it. Got great respect for you, Ken. The 20 years I was highway superintendent, I had Bob and him as liaisons. I guess they didn't trust me. But, we got the job done, and thank you very much as a friend, and just knowing all you guys. And like everybody says, you can't ask for a nicer family, beautiful wife. My recommendation to anybody, if you go to a party at Ken's house, do not leave your car unlocked. You might come back with a snake in it.
I thought we were closed for discussions.
It's my turn. Ken, almost 12 years ago, you got me involved in this town. If anybody knows, Ken has this bar down underneath his back porch. And this bar starts a lot of careers, has a lot of questions asked, has a lot of liquor drank. But what he asked me is if I'd be interested in running for supervisor 10 years, or almost 12 years ago. And I said, no. Why don't you run? And he said, no. So, long story short, I was glad I ran. I want to emphasize what Ken has said. During this time, I've met a lot of people in this town that are great people and love them to death. But Ken, you steered me here. I'm happy you did, because you opened my eyes to a lot more people than my little circle of friends. And you and I have known each other for 35 years. And love you like a brother. And I wish you all the luck.
Well, I've known and worked with Ken for a much shorter time, for the last, I guess, 8 years or so that I've been working with the town. And Ken and I have not always agreed, and that has added to the spice of our town board meetings, but we have mostly agreed. And so much of what the board does and so much of what we do, we can see they're in the common interest of the town. And it's just been a great pleasure to work with Ken. I've appreciated him from the very first moment I came to a town board meeting, actually with my son. It was my first involvement in the town, to ask if we could plant a tree by the playground for some shade. And he was incredibly responsive and warm. And I got really excited about town government, and actually that I continued to get involved after that. I've appreciated, since I've been on the board, I could nudge Ken and ask him a question whenever I've had one in this last year. And I'm glad that we'll continue to see you. I know you'll continue to be involved. And I very much appreciate all the service you've given this town. Thanks very much.
I don't know if anybody else has anything to say, but you're more than welcome. But we do have, where's Jill? We have cake and coffee.
I knew I showed up for a reason.
We'll do that too.
They'll have cake and coffee.
No, we decided, we passed a resolution. You bring the bills home, do it, mate. You're...
Yeah, okay, check's in the mail.
Well, I'll make a motion to go ahead and take care of the bills, but they're gonna bring cake and coffee for everybody, so you guys can just.
See you there, everybody.
Did I give you the big one last time? Oh, wait, we should.
He
just
should
get-
get
No,
the big one.
No, he's
No.
got a little one, so we can.
Chris
talk-
and I had the big one the last two times.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
you're
got to
gonna
mingle,
again.
he has to mingle with the guests.
Well, you get the one.
Oh, yeah.
$2.95.
Note summarizing
That'd be great.
what I have tried to say.
You've been
And-
very patient with us.
No, it's good. I mean, this has to happen. This is really important. I will get our model RFP okayed by NYSERDA and then to you. I will get you, in this note, I'll include just the campaign flow chart a little bit.
Can I have your contact for NYSERDA also?
His name is Max Joel. And he is in their New York City office.
And he hasn't had anything to do with the out-of-state, it's just been New York, it's NYSERDA, right?
He has been interviewing people in all the other state programs to just, learn as much as possible.
And the state is really pushing this partnership idea, this notion of, local governments, nonprofits, and business, or, energy professionals and whatever, in furthering this is all part of this
Yeah,
reform
but
effort.
the state is famous for saying, on this hand, we want you to do this, but on this hand, your hands are tied because you're not allowed to do this, so, how you make all that work together
Right.
is what I'm trying to figure out.
No, I think that it would be valuable for other communities too, to get the legal questions answered.
Yeah, there is there's a consulting group hired by the state to help communities with legal and technical stuff. They go by the name New York Sun PV Trainers Network. I will get you their contact information. Because they are separately funded by NYSERDA to provide free technical assistance to towns on solar stuff.
Okay.
And so I will find out if they.
Yeah, whatever you write up,
Yeah.
just give me the contact people.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. You want I don't have my cards here.
High-powered people don't bring cars.
It's in my office. It's all right. Could you just
yeah.
send her
Yep.
information, emails for either me or Jill, so that we can get that.
Okay. So I think the most important thing is just focus on what you like, really hash out what you don't like and how to make it work better. And if it starts to flow, then we'll try to accommodate working with you guys for this round. But this is a 3-year project, so it's more important to get it right than to rush it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay?
I appreciate your help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pardon me for not saying.
Next is a letter for CCA. Jen, do you want to talk on this? This
Sure.
is, Jen's involved with community choice segregation. She's asking us to sign a letter that will show support for the Public Service Commission to allow a CCA, community choice aggregation allowed in our area, so go ahead and give a little
Okay.
explanation.
So the state is in the midst of these major energy reforms. The ultimate goal of these reforms is to move us away from the centralized centralized large-scale model of energy generation and distribution to a more distributed energy network, decentralized energy system, where there's more renewable energy, energy efficiency, demand management, to reduce the stresses on the overall grid, to diversify the energy supply, because we're all very increasingly reliant, at least for electricity, on natural gas, which has a lot of price volatility, to reduce carbon emissions. There are multiple goals, and ultimately to help stabilize bills for consumers, residences, and businesses. And community choice aggregation is something that allows community, it basically empowers communities in decision-making over supply. So right now, the default supplier of your electricity is if you haven't signed up with an energy supply company, is Central Hudson. Central Hudson goes out and, you know, you don't have any say in where they get their energy from or anything like that. In community choice aggregation, the CCA, which is made up of a municipality or a group of municipalities, is the default provider. And the idea is, you know, with deregulation in the 1990s, it was supposed to bring costs down for consumers, but costs have actually gone up because we all individually consume such a small amount of electricity that the energy supply companies don't really have any incentive to compete for our business. So average people have been kind of the losers, and small businesses have been kind of the losers in deregulation. So CCAs allow you to aggregate, to increase your leverage in purchasing energy for municipalities to purchase energy on behalf of their residents and businesses. And also engage in energy planning and stimulate, not necessarily themselves invest, but stimulate investment locally in the local energy economy and increasing renewable energy generation and energy efficiency investments and the like. So the state is looking to enable this in New York. It has it's been around since the 1990s. 1,300 communities in the country are in CCAs in 6 states, and it's been very beneficial to the communities. So Citizens for Local Power, which is the group of which I am a member, have been interested in this for a couple of years because we see it as a way to basically empower communities to get greater control over energy decisions. And it happens to commune really well with what the state's trying to do in its energy reforms. So there's now a state level proceeding underway to enable community choice aggregation in New York. And we hope that we would like to see them enable it in a way that really, they do it in a way that gives communities, you know, the most flexibility to design the CCA in accordance with their own values and priorities, and basically just make sure they have a good, flexible regulatory framework for it.
Okay, can you say that way
So was that totally incomprehensible to everybody? I'm so sorry.
You can tell you've been immersed in this,
So we
but
get to choose
I'm way
the
too
supplier
immersed in this. I really
consistent-
am.
So the community
but-
gets to choose a supplier consistent with its vision.
Yeah,
And
and it's
then
not just
tell
that.
the supplier, we can give you
Right,
X number
right.
of
So a
potential
community has goals, right? Like our goals might be, we want to source some of our supply locally, right? We might want to create more jobs locally, like that could be a
like
goal,
a solar
right?
farm or something like that.
So instead of just, doing what ESCOs just go out to contract, go out to the market.
Does
and
everybody
put
know what an
together-
ESCO is?
Energy supply company. And it's this hodgepodge of they're putting together a portfolio and hedging and doing all of this, and you have no idea where your energy comes from, anything. And it's often very volatile because it's mostly natural gas. So in a CCA, you could say an energy developer, you can enter into a power purchase agreement with an energy developer and basically commit to buying a certain percentage of the CCA's energy from there, and then that gives the security a developer needs to actually make the investment, and then you've created local jobs, you've created you've given yourself a hedge in your by, you know, if it's a renewable, say it's a big solar farm, for instance, right? That's a consistent source of well, it's free, but a consistent source of power over time. It doesn't have that volatility of natural gas prices, so it will make your bills more stable if you have some portion of your bill, you know, coming from renewable energy source. So that's the idea. So you can meet multiple goals, clean energy goals if you want. That's the community's priorities. Stabilizing bills is really a huge one for everybody. And that's been the primary reason why CCAs were first started, was to stabilize and reduce the cost of energy for consumers.
Okay, so the key right now is that the Public Service Commission is making decisions about how to go forward in considering this. This would be a letter to say that we would support them considering community aggregation, correct?
Yes.
So that's what this letter is. So I will read the letter, which is going to take me a couple minutes. February 4th, 2015, Audrey Ziegelman, Chair of New York State Public Service Commission, Empire State Plaza, Agency Building 3, Albany, New York. Your Chair, Ziegelman, New York is currently considering actions that will enable municipalities to introduce community choice aggregation. The Public Service Commission has included CCA in its proceeding to reform the Energy Vision Rev for New York in December 2014. Governor Cuomo named it one of the 5 key energy initiatives. The town of Rosendale and Ulster County applauds the PSC and governor for taking this initiative and asks you to ensure that the regulations give municipalities in New York State the full range of tools we need to become more resilient, achieve greater control over energy resources, and grow the local economy. In the Mid-Hudson Valley, we are acutely aware of the need to do more to solve our energy issues. The havoc wrought by Irene, Lee, and Sandy is fresh in our minds. Last year, we experienced severe winter peak price hikes, followed by the imposition of the new capacity zone, an unfairly imposed rate hike of 6 to 10% from the Federal Energy Regulation Commission. We understand that collective efforts are required to address our energy supply needs. That's why we support community choice aggregation as a tool that, with state enabling action, empowers municipalities to aggregate energy supply, stabilize energy costs, and encourage clean energy investments that align with community energy goals. As municipal programs, CCAs afford transparency and accountability in energy decision-making and ensure adherence to safe procurement regulations that protect customers. Because they're anchored in their communities, CCAs are uniquely positioned to involve their residents in taking steps to introduce energy efficiency and renewable generation. Through energy planning based on an assessment of local renewable energy resources and granular load and grid data, CCAs enable towns and cities to unleash their potential to expand investment in local renewable energy, energy efficiency, and demand management. In this way, CCAs can be an important tool for meeting New York State's energy goals at the same time as they contribute to economic development. Instead of sending our energy dollars elsewhere, we can build stronger local economies and keep jobs at home. To achieve those goals, municipalities that are planning to form a CCA need access to granular data, not just aggregated data, before the CCA program is created. This is necessary in order for their planning to include the formation of renewable energy and energy efficiency goals and implementation strategies from the outset. This level of forward planning also better positions CCAs to seek the financial resources they will need to build out distributed energy resources over a period of years or decades, enabling a strong version of CCA in New York will position our communities to achieve local, regional, and state energy goals to the benefit of our electricity consumers and our local economy. We ask you to ensure that CCA is available to New York's towns, cities, and counties in a flexible form that will allow communities' elected bodies to make the region more resilient and less dependent on volatile fossil fuels while enhancing investment in the local economy. So I'd just like to say that this letter would be in support of them considering CCAs and make us available to the towns. This is not, at this point, an endorsement that we will make that decision, because obviously going forward there's going to be a lot more work involved that our local organization will be working on figuring all that out, what kind of costs are involved for the community and for the towns before they sign up. But this is the first step to allow us to get the data that would make it possible for us to get that information. So I would like to make a motion to send this letter to the chair from Public Service Commission.
I'll second that motion.
Right there.
Jen, I just want to ask, do you think it's okay for you to vote on this?
I don't have any material on this.
I know.
Well, your name is on here though, and that would be, since you're on here,
Yeah.
there might be a conflict of interest. I would bow out if I were you.
I'm not going to say that you have to do that, I just want to make you aware that, I mean, I think that's your call, but is it going to, I just wonder, is it going to make it a stronger document with or without your name?
Right. You know, I've asked before about this when this came up with our transmission resolution. I called the Association of Towns to see like, what do I do in this? Because, you know, that I introduced it, this is cool. And they said, you know, you're a volunteer doing this for a public interest, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's when you benefit.
Fine.
Like if
You
I
know
was a
what?
hired
You're gonna have
employee-
majority most likely anyway. You're better off just
Right, the only thing that's
backing
weird
down
is
and not
that.
voting on it.
Right.
It's totally her call, because I
Right.
don't
I'm
think
just-
that,
I'm
it's,
just
don't,
trying
I
to-
don't think, I agree with her that it's not
Right.
there's no financial gain, so there's no reason.
I mean, I don't mind that, it doesn't matter to me, the only thing is we have to take my name off the letter.
Yeah, you'd rather have your name not on there, yeah.
It doesn't make, it would just
Yeah.
look funny if I
Or
didn't
have your
sign.
name on there.
No,
with,
I want this to be
recuse.
totally your decision, I just want it to be, to
Right.
make sure you're aware that, you know, are they going to take this as seriously, coming from someone who's worked so hard to get this, rather than the supportive group that
Yeah.
is, you know, listening. I just
Yeah.
wanted you to be.
I mean, I'm happy to abstain, but what did you do?
I was just saying abstaining. We could also have your name on there and just note that you abstained.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
It-
let's do
it's-
that.
It's your call, it's
Yeah,
your call,
let's-
but I just.
I choose
it
to
makes-
abstain.
It would look better if majority went
Yeah.
yes and you abstained, and that's
Right.
probably the way it's gonna fly here.
I would, yeah, I think that's true.
Okay.
Because, only because you're already so active,
Yeah.
when they look at this, oh, it's another letter from Tim Metzger, you know?
Right. All right, Dad.
Take it from me, it gets in the wrong hands, and makes an issue out of it, and then it becomes
Yeah.
a,
You know, I
Yeah,
mean, if you,
That's
you know,
fine, I'm perfectly happy
Roll
to
call.
abstain.
Ready? Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
I abstain. My first.
Councilman Kowalski,
Yes?
Councilman Ryan,
yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
yes. Okay, I was gonna have everybody sign this, but since Jen's name on it and she abstained, I think it might look better if we take her name off of it and have a new one drafted. If you guys are okay with that. And that means I just have to stop by and sign the letter.
Everyone has to stop by and,
You do?
Pick up them checks, so we get them in our
or association of members.
Oh, that's right. You guys gotta go pick up your allowance and sign the
We'll
paperwork.
do that tomorrow.
Right.
I gotta see court tomorrow anyway.
Depends what time.
The
Four.
thing is, they know.
Jen, you can sign it if you want to. It's not,
Right.
you're not, we're not gonna say you don't have to.
No, I mean,
These
not
horses
voting on the
down.
not voting on the resolution.
You can still
but
sign.
I can sign it without voting on the resolution.
You guys wanna sign this, and then we'll talk about, Jen can decide what she wants to do.
Yeah,
How's that?
just sign it, people.
You want the blue?
You can just
Keep going
write
up,
abstain
keep
too,
going down.
if
Right.
you decide not to sign it instead of.
Jen, are you gonna sign it? I can't remember what he said.
John,
We can draft a new one if you
John,
want. You want-
Councilman Hughes,
Well, I don't know, let me think about it. I don't,
She
I
wants to
think it's
think
pretty
about it.
simple.
That's okay. You voted, so you can
I
decide.
don't know, but I gotta go work.
I know, you wanna watch that show, not in.
No,
Too
it's
late,
over.
too
Sorry,
late.
too late.
All right. I'm not gonna go through every little bit on this. This is the, next thing is the Bernier and Larios, MS4 Stormwater Sewer Management Consulting Agreement. Same contract as last year. Joe Neem has been doing our stormwater management, consulting for the last,
Is that good,
I'm
man?
in,
I'm gonna write abstain.
is that what you wanna write?
Jen?
Sorry. Sorry to belabor this point.
So just, you know, if you guys get a chance, take a look at it, but it's pretty much the same thing. I think he's been doing a great job, working with Tom to, you know, make sure everything's done that we need to do.
He knows our area,
And,
you know, like the back of his hand.
And both Bob and Joe and Tom have been working with them.
I second the motion.
All right, we're not gonna do that till next week, it's just a review.
And I don't second the motion.
The next one is our agreement with Hatch. They are the providers of some equipment for water for both Rosendale and.
That's who we deal with the state.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
the
this
same
probably-
contract?
Yeah, they're pretty well
Yeah,
known.
I think they're
The only one.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're at Long Island too.
So there's one for both Pike Falls and Rosendale.
So all these will be voted on next week?
Yep. Then there's an application that you guys are gonna approve to let me apply for, grant money that we've been getting each year to help us pay for the swim team coaches. So we've kept that alive, while the pool's been closed, so we'll keep doing that. And Manager Green had asked us to do a resolution to support
That was
the proposal for the removal of PCBs from the Hudson River. And Chris, you had done a little investigating on that. You wanna speak
Yeah,
on
and she
that?
asked us wearing her Clearwater hat
Yes.
for that.
She approached the supervisors too about it. That's why.
So, this is the last year of the EPA mandated environmental dredging to clean up PCBs in the Hudson River. And once that's done, there will still remain some PCBs. And New York State Canal Corporation is required to do navigational dredging. Also, once that's done, the trustees who have been appointed in this case can still determine and levy damages fees. The trustees are New York State, NOAA, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife. So the idea behind this resolution is encouraging New York State and General Electric to get together and say, rather than GE finishing and dismantling their dewatering facility and the rest of their infrastructure, and then New York State building the same infrastructure on its own, that they could voluntarily choose to work out an agreement such that GE either allows New York to use the facility or even contracts to do the work. The resolution doesn't specify how to do it, just encourages them to figure this out. And while it doesn't affect all residents uniformly, the New York State Canal Corporation funds itself by thruway and bridge tolls, so it does still affect a good many of our residents.
And I just want to point out that Mary Lou made a change in what was proposed. We have one, you know, she put the whereas information from scientific studies has been presented to the town board indicating, and then took out all the other whereases and just made it one. Okay, so this was added.
Okay.
Everything else is just,
Gotcha.
you know, just as in relation to that whereas. I think the other one might have had whereas.
It was all
Yeah.
whereas.
So she changed it. So, I think it's still gonna give the same message. So we'll, there was no time constraint on this, was there?
They were asking by the end of February, so
Okay,
we don't
so we
have to
can
do
do
it
this.
tonight.
We'll do it next month.
Review it for the next week.
And,
And I'm happy to answer any of my colleagues' questions as best I can if you have them between now and next week. That's it.
thank you. Okay, am I missing something here?
Support the Newburgh Meal Processing Center.
Mandy, you know, we have this request to stop the closing. for you. Maybe you just want to speak on that a little bit.
Oh, the
Post office.
This, I just found about it today.
Oh,
I didn't know.
okay.
Jill came over and spoke to me about it, but I didn't know
You had
about it.
nothing, no response from, okay.
No. So,
So-
it's still.
And if it's closed, what happens?
Well, we can just say, Mandy can elaborate if she wants to, that, we've had huge problems with how the mail has been handled. Not, many missing mail, checks missing, months, I would
They're
not,
still missing.
letters that, that have,
And the funny story behind it is what some excuses was that there was park mail. But it's not the case, it's not being done the way it used to be done. And now everything's being read by machine, so if you don't put things correctly on the envelopes, or it's not over far, so the.
window envelopes.
Yeah, the window envelopes, and then if the the return address is over far enough, it gets all mixed up, and what happens is it all gets sent to a facility in Georgia, and then they are hand sorting it. So we probably, our
So-
stuff, who knows where.
So on a
it
short
is.
note, they want to close the Newburgh office, and from there, if they close that, where's all our mail going to go to? Albany or
It's already going to
Westchester?
Albany, right?
It's already
going to
going to
Albany,
Albany,
and
and
it's gonna
that's-
make it more of a problem with
Right.
not handling the mail.
So what do we want to look at doing?
We wanna do this resolution that,
To not close it?
to not close it.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we should do tonight then. I mean, if it's,
I don't think that it matters if we do it tonight. Let me see,
I think it doesn't, it probably
Let me
doesn't matter even if we vote in favor or not to vote.
no, I mean, unfortunately,
But
they're gonna do what they wanna do.
They're going to do what they want to do,
but I think,
unfortunately.
you know,
It's,
Good to make your voice heard.
Yeah,
What
I,
they're really doing is making more people not send mail, is that's
Right.
coming
People are
down
gonna
to
find
it.
other
People
ways
are
to-
not sending mail, or they're
I know
going
what-
UPS, FedEx, they're not using the USPS, and they're doing things electronically, they just, they're gonna stop using
I
it.
think something like that, like this, we should vote on
we
tonight.
already did, we did a resolution, I don't know, last year sometime.
Yeah.
Because of the problems that we were having, I think all the town clerks got together and wanted something done. But this is just, heading more in the direction of not having an efficient mail system.
Well, I got a sneaky suspicion from a pretty reliable source that I think Tilson Post Office is on its way on,
I mean, if you guys want me to do this tonight, we can. That's what everybody wants. We can do it
I
all.
mean,
It's
it's,
fun.
I mean, it's not something, something like this, it's not
supports it.
something we have to
Right,
think
right.
about. The situation as poor as it is, if they do this, it's just gonna make it worse, so
I
I
agree,
would
we
think that
can
we
do
could.
this tonight.
Let's do that. Resolution 2/2015 one. Yes, Bill?
Who's the letter being sent to?
Huh?
Who's the letter being sent to?
It's going to be sent.
Lincoln's Insurance Company.
Believe me, I'm one of their best customers.
We're gonna put it in the mail.
I would assume.
No, I'm just saying, we
You
should also
can't
send-
guarantee it's gonna get
we
there.
should also send a copy of it to our
We can do it.
congressmen and state senators as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the federal government does have oversight.
It's gonna go here, because at the bottom it says, should you have to send it to their office, so it would go to the Hudson Valley Area Labor Federation.
Yeah, there's, the area, the local union is asking for their support, so it's gonna go to them so they can gather all the letters and
And
send
then
it
present
out
them
to
out to the federal representative.
Right, but we
Okay.
could, I was gonna say, because we could just copy our federal.
All right, resolution 2/2015, one.
One.
Resolution requesting U.S. Congress prohibit the U.S. Postal Service from closing or consolidating its mail processing center in Newburgh, Mid-Hudson, P, and D.C. Whereas the United States Postal Service plans to close or consolidate the Mid-Hudson, P, and D.C. mail processing and distribution center, and whereas this plan would severely delay all classes of mail delivery, and whereas this delay of mail would negatively
That's a tough
Blech.
one.
Negatively.
No, it'll.
Negatively affect residents and local businesses and would harm our community, and whereas the closure would result in a degradation of service standards that would result in the virtual elimination of overnight mail delivery throughout the country. And whereas federal law stipulates that the Postal Service shall have its basic function, the obligation to provide postal services to bind the nation together through personal, educational, literary, and business correspondence of the people.
shall provide prompt, reliable, and efficient services to patrons in all areas and shall render postal services to all communities. 39 U.S. Code, is that supposed to be code?
Should be code.
Yeah, I thought so. Code section 101A. Now therefore be resolved, section 1, that the town board of the town of Rosendale does hereby demand congressional intervention to stop this proposal to close or consolidate the Mid-Hudson P and DC processing and distribution center. Section 2 does hereby demand congressional intervention to stop the delay of mail and the elimination of overnight delivery of first-class mail set for January 5th, 2015, which is passed. Section 3, that the resolution shall be forwarded to our U.S. senators and representatives and the postal and postmaster general.
So 1 and 2, congressional should be capitalized.
Okay.
Give me a stick.
We can make it clean.
I second the motion.
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are again amending the resolution to authorize for the sewer grant modification. Because when I was sent the email, the number, it was 18,600 on the email, and it's supposed to be 18,100. So this whole resolution is amended because there was one number wrong on it, so we have to fix it. This is the third time we're doing this resolution.
So
Joe was
this
asking me, I'm like,
three's a charm, as they say.
I said, did the paper mistype something? Is something mistyped?
It was actually, Jason sent it to me transposed, and I used the email instead of the contract to write the numbers on the paper, so that's why. So I blamed it on him. He goes, "You got this wrong." I'm like,
His fault.
"I have an email from you on such and such a date, that's what you told me to write." But anyway, Resolution 2, 2015-2. Approval for Barton Luge to submit a pre-development planning grant, PPG, for Town of Rosendale wastewater treatment plant improvements. Whereas on November 12, 2014, Town Board of the Town of Rosendale passed Resolution 11, 2014-6. And whereas in the direction of the USDA, a modification to Resolution 11, 2014-6 is needed for the grant application to authorize the supervisor to sign any and all documents necessary for the administration of the USDA grant that is subject to of that resolution. And whereas this resolution is intended to amend the Resolution 11, 2014-6 to include such modification, and whereas Bartlett Judas of 10 Airline Drive, Suite 200, Albany, New York, 12205 has proposed the town of Rosendale to apply for a wastewater treatment improvement engineering study, whereas pre-development planning grants are available through the United States Department of Agriculture to assist in paying costs associated with development of an application for a proposed wastewater project. And whereas the town of Rosendale is interested in doing a phased approach to wastewater treatment plant improvements, and whereas the town would like to take advantage of the USDA offering of pre-development planning grants, which will cover up to 50% the cost of the preliminary engineering reports. And whereas Barton Judas has submitted a scope of work to address the necessary requirements for said grant described herein for a lump sum fee of $18,100. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale authorizes the supervisor to sign said agreement, which has been attached and made a part hereof. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale authorizes the supervisor to sign any and all documents necessary for the USDA pre-planning grant.
I'll second it.
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes. By the way, since we're on that subject of water, I don't know if, I hope everybody saw in the paper that we did get our grant approval for the water, so we got our $3 million plus money, and our closing took place last week, so we are now ready to start the work. Very exciting. And then, guess what we're gonna do again?
Another repeat.
Resolution 2, 2015-3. Resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale supporting legislation introduced in the New York State Legislature and referred as a home rule relief measure, authorizing the Town of Marltown to establish offices and conduct business, and the Town Justices of Marltown to conduct business, including court proceedings in the Town of Rosendale.
Whereas legislation has been introduced in the New York State Assembly and the New York State Senate, which would authorize the town of Marltown and town justices, the town of Marltown to establish offices and conduct business, including court proceedings in the town of Rosendale. And whereas this legislation is necessary to allow the town of Marltown to move the town offices to the now vacant Rosendale Elementary School in the town of Rosendale and conduct town business and court proceedings for the town justice, the town of Marltown at that location offers numerous advantages over the current town hall and court facilities, including that the school has adequate space and is accessible to the disabled. And whereas a resolution of this town was necessary for the state legislature to grant such authorization, therefore be resolved that the town of Rosendale supports the passage of Assembly Bill A.2297 and Senate Bill S.1530. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the New York State Assembly and the New York State Senate.
I'll second that.
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Ryan,
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes. And Mandy, tomorrow you'll have to seal it and sign it. And that's it for me. You guys will sign some vouchers.
We get the short ones tonight, Andy.
No, it's my
Yes,
birthday
no,
week.
no.
I get
Oh,
the
happy
short one.
birthday.
Whose birthday?